today's lesson, we're going to focus on investments involving regular payments. So if you recall, in the last lesson, we started to solve for those variables in the compound interest formula that were not the future value, or A. So what was one thing that was consistent with all the questions from the previous lesson? Can you guys think back? Yes. The PMT always equaled 0. But today we're going to deal with questions that involve multiple payments towards an investment, not just one lump sum. So let's start in on this example right here. Example number 1. Danielle is saving for a trip to Australia in 3 years. She plans to work on a student visa while she's there, so she only needs to take enough money she only needs to save enough money for a return flight and her expenses until she finds a job. So she deposits $350 into her savings account at the end of each 6-month period from what she earns as a server. This account earns 4.2% interest. Whoa, I want to know that savings account. And is compounded semi-annually. How much money will there be in the account after the end of 3 years? And how much of this money earned will be interest? So with this one right here, we're going to use our TVM solver for the A part, and then B, we're going to use the values that are in our TVM solver to use the SUMINT formula. So let's just focus on this first one though. So we're talking about semi-annual payments, and the interest is compounded semi-annually. So we know that the PY and the CY are 2. I like to start with those like I mentioned in the last video. Now the future value is what we're going to be solving for. So how much money will be in the account at the end of the 3 years? So we want to figure out what's what. We know that she deposits $350 into her savings account at the end of each 6-month period. So each payment is going to be $350. And remember, we need to have a negative there because it's money that's initially going away from her. She doesn't have an initial amount of anything. Okay, so she doesn't start off with a lump sum or anything. So the present value is 0. The interest is 4.2. And we know that there are 2 compounding periods per year, and she needs to save for 3 years. So that's going to end up being 6. So let us call up our TVM solver. Everybody's going to have a little bit of a different way to get there, but this is my way, TVM solver. So I'm going to put 6. I know that 3 times 2 is 6. My interest here is going to be 4.2. My present value is going to be 0 because she doesn't start out with any money, but she makes payments of $350 each 6-month period. Future value, we don't know what that is, so we're just going to skip over it for now. Our payments per year is 2, and our compounding periods per year is 2 as well. So I'm going to scroll up to future value, and I'm going to go to alpha, enter. And we get $2,213.39. To figure out what the interest is, so this is A. So how much of this money earned is interest? We're going to call back our TVM solver, and we're going to quit this mode here. We're going to go back into the finance, scroll down until you see the SUMINT, hit enter, and I'm going to put 1 for the starting time, and then our last compounding period is going to be 6. Hit enter, and it looks like we're going to be making $113.39. So what I want to do here is I want to write down exactly what I write into my calculator, just so that I can see when I'm marking to see that you have the starting and ending point right. Because say you accidentally put a 5 here, I don't have to take off full marks. I just have to take off for that concept of not knowing when the last compounding period is. But I can give you some marks. I think I've told you in the past that I'm a marks minor. So it's $113.39.